Hey everybody, Neil here. It has been a very, very busy 2 weeks for me, specifically in the last week. As you can tell from behind, if you've watched any previous videos, things are continually missing from the background and getting smaller. I'm in the process of, I guess not renovating, I was going to say renovating. Renovating is a little bit aggressive. I'm in the process of kind of redoing my room, and I've been kind of focused on that. So I've been removing stuff, and this weekend's going to be a big weekend, and this week I just didn't have time to film any videos, so I do apologize for that. I'm hoping to get this wrapped up pretty soon so I can get this office settled and back into a normal routine. But one routine we do have here on the channel that I very rarely miss, if ever, is the Friday jersey concept video. And that is today. I've got some awesome jerseys for you. Well, I don't know if they're awesome, but I assume they're awesome. I've not seen them before, but they're from an awesome designer. His name's Phoenix Mason. We looked at some of his work in, I think it was either last month or the month before. It was very good. Very, very good. So I'm very curious to see what he has for us today. I think this series is called the Classics series, so we should see some retro vibes. So let's bring up his work and let's check it out. First one coming up. And this is not Anaheim. This is a prequel slide. It says, you can skip this. Okay, well, too late, Phoenix. Rules. All jerseys must have elements and influences from team history. All jerseys are designed in the context of a specialty series. I like it. Good intro. So, okay, there's Anaheim. Ooh, what a great start. So we get the angular striping that we're kind of used to with Anaheim. We kind of get the classic colors. It's a little bit risky to do like a 4 stacked stripe. 3 is, we're used to 3, but 4, it almost starts to become too repetitive. So I think we're kind of on the line of that being a little bit too repetitive, but I do like it. Like I think that was probably the right call. It does give it just a little bit more personality to add that extra kind of stripe line in there. I like this. I don't know if I'd change anything, honestly. I think this is really good. Next, the Boston Bruins. Pretty predictable. If this is a classic series, then we need to not be too modern, and it can't be too risky. This is not risky. This is classic. Pretty generic classic striping. I do like the off-white chosen in there. That's nice. Shoulders are really nice. B for the logo. Yeah, good jersey. Next to Buffalo Sabres. Okay, so honestly pretty close to their away jersey. There's obviously some differences in the striping. I think this section is different as well. And I think actually the front of the shoulders, the yellow is maybe thicker. I can't remember like off the top of my head. I'd have to go look after this. But yeah, I mean, it's nice. We like this jersey. Carolina. Okay, so I like this because is that off-white or white? I can't quite tell. I'm going to do a monitor switch. I think it might be slightly off-white, which I like. I not too much. You don't want it to look like yellow and super weathered. It's Carolina. They're not that old, but maybe just a touch of off-white, like a cream. That's like a light cream. That's nice for Carolina. I do like that. Almost like a sea foam or something. That's really good. So I think if that is the case, and even if it's not the case, I do like this jersey. It does work pretty well. I kind of like the relationship too between the logo and the striping element. So when the arm, it's angled striping. It's not the exact same degree of angle as the kind of the flag angle and the logo, but it still has that kind of just slanted kind of relationship between the two. They're almost both blowing in the wind, blowing in the hurricane, and I think that's good. I like when jerseys, the elements on the jersey play off the elements of the logo, and I think Phoenix has done that here quite nicely. My only criticism might be the numbers, a little bit small, and they could probably use that stroke of the white or off-white. Whoa, the Columbus Blue Jackets. I was not expecting so much red. That and stars. This is very aggressive. This is very, very, very aggressive. I think that the stars on the shoulders are probably not needed. Maybe it's just a regular shoulder patch there. I don't mind the stars in the arms. I do feel like they're a little bit aggressive at the bottom of the jersey. I'm wondering if you just reduce the transparency by 50%. That might help a little bit, but it is a lot of red as well. I think this is it's not bad. I just think it's a little bit aggressive. So maybe just tone down a little bit. This would be pretty cool. A good direction. Okay, the Calgary Flames. I love the front of the shoulders. I love the classic style neck and the off-white. That looks really good. Striping is fine. Don't love the hats in the shoulders. I know it's Calgary. I know how applicable that is, but it just, I don't know. It feels a little bit gimmicky, I think, on the shoulders. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, next, the Chicago Blackhawks. That logo, okay. I know they used a variation of that logo. That does not look familiar, though. That looks like it's been AI'd or processed through Photoshop Generate or something. I can tell by the text. It's just off. Also, the face and head is a little bit different, but this is referencing the mid-30s, I think, for the Chicago Blackhawks. Regardless of the logo, it's a nice jersey. I like the shoulder patch on there. This is good. Ooh, the Colorado Avalanche, missing an E at the end. This is very vibrant. Is very vibrant. I think it's maybe a little bit too much yellow. I would maybe swap the yellow and the blue, probably in that backing striping. Just, have the yellow be the smaller stripe. I think the yellow just might be a little bit too aggressive, because I think if it was swapped, the yellow in the C, the dot, whatever, that would be a little bit more apparent. It would be a little bit more lively. I think it just gets overshadowed by all the other yellow. But yeah, I don't know. I'd have to see it to see. But yeah, it's a good jersey. Absolutely Dallas Stars, 100%. I would absolutely love this. I think this is needed, very much needed in their brand. If they're not going to bring back the Star jersey, okay, that's fine. Don't do it, even though everyone wants it. You don't have to do it. But give us something from that general era. This is it. This would be very well received by the fan base, I think. Detroit, almost an immediate no, just based on the logo. And I don't think it's wrong to use that D or the R stylized like that and that typeface, or the W. I think this is really a weighting issue, and this is a difficult part as a designer when you're dealing with text that has poor weighting. This isn't a Phoenix problem. This isn't a Neil problem. This is the font's problem, or maybe more specifically, this letter within this font. So the D holds so much weight on the right-hand side because it is centered technically in the jersey. The R and the W is also technically centered in the jersey, but the hooks of the D come out so much on the left that it forces that weight to shift, or visually it feels like the weight has shifted on the jersey to be more right-weighted as we're looking at it, left-weighted as it is on the jersey. But it's not. It is technically centered, but it doesn't look that way at first glance. Because of that, that is a difficult challenge to overcome with different fonts and different letters and stuff. It is a challenge. So I would probably make the R and the W a shoulder patch. Put the R on one side, the W on the other. They'll look the same from a distance, but they'll be representing something different. Obviously red, wings, and up close might be kind of cool. They're stylized the same way, so they're not going to be like unbalanced or anything like that. And I would probably obviously move the D up, and it'll look less off-centered with the R and the W move. That's my little criticism there. The Oilers, I like the off-white. The logo's, recolorized, pretty decent. It's not my favorite Oilers jersey that I've seen, but it definitely feels like it's in a classic series. Wow. I don't think this does. The Florida Panthers, I don't think this feels very classic. However, I do like it. Like, this has a lot of potential. I kind of like the bold stroke on the logo. That red, it just really helps that logo pop off of the jersey. I'm maybe going to be a little bit critical of no red here, just because there is that red across the arm, the bottom, but there's no red across here. It is in the neck, though. I'm not sure. I have to look at this one a little bit more. I do like it, though. It's good. Kings, definitely. I think we've seen pretty similar concepts to this in the past. This is a well-executed concept. Shoulders nicely balanced with the bottom of the jersey. That same kind of color weight with the white up top and the white down below with a splash of yellow. They hold the same like real estate, so it's a really good balance, and obviously balance left and right because the arms are identical. So really good job, Phoenix, on this one. Okay. So with the Minnesota Wild, I think that I fall into the category of the minority. And what I mean by that is that I feel like there's more Wild fans or hockey fans or Jersey fans that like Minnesota stuff a lot more than me, just broadly. I think this is probably a good example. I think a lot of people, the majority of people, will look at this and will like it. And there's definitely elements of this that I do like. However, I would probably put it in the side of not for me in general, I guess. This is a jersey that to me feels Christmassy. I don't really like when jerseys feel like that. And that happens with the Minnesota Wild because of the colors. Obviously green and red and white and then off-white, whatever. But I don't know. It could be the font as well. Like that M, it just feels very Christmassy. So to me, this jersey is in that Christmas realm. So for that reason, I just can't not see it when I look at this jersey. But there's elements of this that I do like. I think maybe if we switch the logo, it would help. But yeah, like I said, I think more people are going to like this than me, or you know what I mean. Let's move on. Montreal Canadiens, little aggressive, I think, with the striping in the background. It's a little bit too much. The Montreal Canadiens logo isn't that intricate, but it is there's no question that it's the spotlight on the Montreal Canadiens jersey. It is the most iconic logo in the NHL and probably hockey history. So I don't think you want to muddy it up in the background. I think you just want to keep it simple. Now, they do use a backing stripe on their regular jersey, but it's less aggressive than this one. Shoulder patch on there, absolutely 100% the logical and best decision. That definitely fits on there. However, I'd swap it. So right now you have the stem of the leaf pointing into the neck. I think it should be the other way around. I think you should look at the jersey this way versus this way. Does that make sense? I just think the logo's upside down. Okay, next, the New Jersey Devils, going to a literal of the folklore of the New Jersey Devil. If you don't know what the New Jersey Devil is, it is a mythical creature that lives in some pine forest in somewhere in New Jersey. And it's supposed to have wings, and I think hooves or hoofs, whatever. And I think it's like a horse head or something. I mean, it basically kind of looks like this little thing here. I think this is very unrealistic to put this on an actual NHL jersey, at least designed like this. It is way too basic. It looks like something that was out of a book from the 1920s, or sorry, the 1820s, I meant to say. It just looks, yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't fit. I know it's classic. I know it's like that lore and stuff, but it just doesn't fit for me. It feels very out of place. Nashville, absolutely. I mean, that logo is classic. I like the jersey design too, as well. Like sometimes you look at a jersey and you think, that would make a really good uniform. That's what I feel when I see this. I can kind of see blue pants with some yellow striping along the bottom, that little, like, just a bottom little, not brim, but whatever section where it's like stitched over, that little section, just to kind of have some balance. And then blue socks with some yellow striping, blue helmet. Like I personally think that this would be a really good uniform style jersey. So yeah, I'm on board for this one, Phoenix. Very classic, but very, very Predators. I talked about this in the last video. The Predators came out and they were very modernly designed. Like, it wasn't a classic design. They were trying to be modern. So a classic version of a Nashville jersey still kind of looks modern. That's exactly what this is. So this is very well done, Phoenix. The Islanders. You know what? I'm on board for the sleeves. I'm on board for the bottom of the jersey. I think we're a little bit aggressive on the orange, but okay, I can get on board. Where it loses me actually is the wave on the shoulders. I think I would just make those straight. I don't know why it bothers me, but it kind of does. I guess it's because I expect it to be in the stripes. I expect their stripes to be angular or wavy in the Islanders situation, but not up here. It feels awkward up here. The Rangers, very nice jersey. I like the off-white. I like the striping. I like the neck. This is good. It's still just a Rangers jersey. It's got the Rangers coming down, but it's off-white. Yeah, I like it. It's just different. They've done a lot of dark alternate jerseys recently in the past 6-7 years. I think this would be nice to have, a nice white or off-white one. Okay, the Ottawa Senators, I think we're so close here. I think we're so close. We've got white stripes down below. We've got white in the logo, white in the arms, but no white up here. It's in the back of the inside, but that doesn't count because there's going to be a person there. So I think you're going to, I'd like to see, personally, it's just some white, whether it's this little section here that holds, sorry, I'm wearing a Winter Classic jersey. Where the logo, the little piece that's holding the logo, that little, whatever you want to call it, maybe that's white, just to add some balance up there. I don't know, but I do like this. I'm wondering just curious what it would look like with a backing stripe behind the O, but I don't mind the O floating like that. Maybe a shoulder patch. Okay. Philadelphia, I would like to see a very, very black version of the Flyers jersey, not in the sense that it's the alternate or the one that's based on the recent stadium series, just like something majority black, but different than that. Does that make sense? This is kind of approaching that. I don't love the shoulder patch, though. Pittsburgh, yes and no. Like, there's sometimes yellow jerseys or gold jerseys work for me, and sometimes they don't. I don't know why. I can't explain the logic behind it. It's just a feeling. I don't feel like that works here. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the blue or what. If it maybe needs a shoulder patch, maybe the numbers. I'm not sure. I'm 50-50 on this one. Seattle, I think it's inevitable that Seattle does do an off-white style jersey like this. I will say, I don't. This one almost feels unfinished or something. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I think it's that dark blue stripe. It just feels it's not balanced by anything in the rest of the jersey. I'm not sure. It's missing something. The Sharks. Okay, very cool shoulders. Very, very cool shoulders. I like the gray that's in there. I might move down the sleeves. What I mean by that is that striping that's there, maybe move it down a little bit or not have so much white at the bottom of the sleeves. I think it just feels very white weighted at the bottom. But other than that, like I love the top half of this jersey. It's very cool. St. Louis. Okay, I think we've got some. Is it Eagles? Yes. Okay, the St. Louis Eagles. I'll try and put up a photo so you can see. That's the inspiration behind this. I actually like this, but like, what in the scenario or world that Phoenix has created, a specialty series. Do not want this for the away jersey, or if they switched colors, I don't want this for the home jersey. But a specialty, definitely. All right, let's move on. Tampa Bay Lightning, pretty close to was it Reverse Retro 1.0. I would be personally all for this. Absolutely nothing negative to say about this. Bring it on. Toronto Maple Leafs. Yes, honestly, it is super aggressive. There's people that aren't going to like it for that reason. It's almost too classic in some people's mind. It's ugly. But to me, this is the NHL. This is the origins of the NHL. NHL jerseys years ago, 110 years ago, whatever it was, 108 technically since the birth of the league, I think. These are the jerseys that were at the birth of the NHL. Not this specifically, but this style. So I think, even though it is ugly, I mean, it is ugly. But I think that this honors history in such a great way. And it just reminds us of how old this wonderful sport actually is. It's over 100 years old, just the NHL. As a sport, it's obviously even older. But I just think that it's good to honor the history like this. It's good to accept that, yeah, this is ugly, but it's the base. It's the foundation of jerseys. It is. So I think it's okay to appreciate that. And I love the fact that Phoenix has leaned into this. And other designers, they lean into this. I wish that NHL teams would do this a little bit more and not be afraid of taking a little bit of risk and not being afraid of people saying that's ugly. It can still be ugly, but it can still also be popular. That's the thing. The Mammoth. I think Phoenix is probably making a pretty logical decision here. I can actually see the Mammoth do something like this, just a completely stark monochrome style jersey. Yeah, it's close to LA, but I can actually see them doing something like this. If they did, and I don't mean this as a slight or a jab at Phoenix, I think it would be a forgettable jersey. There's nothing wrong with this jersey. It's just very plain. It's nice. It's just very plain, and I just feel like it's forgettable. It's very close to LA. It's very close to some other kind of dark jerseys that we've seen. That there's that Tampa jersey that's a little bit close to this. So I just think it's a little bit forgettable. Vancouver, absolutely 100%, without a doubt, this has to happen. I would spend many shillings on this for sure. This is a wonderful jersey. Absolutely nothing negative to say about this. Bring it on. Vegas. I don't like the logo. I don't mind the rest of the jersey. It's a little bit busy, but the logo, I want that specific alternate logo. That just looks like a weird pinnacle star thing. Yeah, I don't like the logo. Whoa, Winnipeg. Okay, this is based on the history of the Atlanta Thrashers. They had that wonderful jersey that at the time I don't think a lot of people liked, but now it's like very popular. I feel like it doesn't work in this specific layout. I've seen it work in other concepts from other designers with Winnipeg. It's a hard thing to pull off. So I don't want that to sound insulting to Phoenix. I've seen it work way less than it not work. That's how difficult it is. I just don't feel like it works here. It could be the template as well. I'm not exactly sure, but it is it's probably a miss for me. The Capitals. I can see people getting upset about this because it's a mix of two eras, but I like it. I think this would be pretty cool. I would honestly be in favor of them going to these colors full time, or sorry, going back to these colors full time. I think that would upset some people as well, but yeah, that's how I feel. I have a couple of favorites, I guess. Vancouver obviously was wonderful. Toronto, I think, is maybe not what everyone wants, but I think would be popular. The Dallas one, very obvious, very nice. The Carolina one, also very nice. Anaheim, like they're so actually Phoenix did a wonderful job on a lot of these jerseys. I'm gonna give it to Nashville. I just think that this kind of ticks all the boxes in terms of what his series is, which is classics. He's got the logo on there that's classic, and he's also kind of gone back to that brand style from when they came into the NHL. So I feel like this is a classic jersey that looks modern, that still fits right in with the NHL's kind of general branding, fits right in with the Predators branding, is exactly what they probably should have at this moment, which is a dark blue jersey with the yellow as a secondary color. It would sell well. I don't know, to me, it's not the best designed logo because you've got the text on there, which is conflicting with the actual skull. You know, I have things to say about that, but that's fine. Like it feels classic. It feels original Nashville. So I don't know. I kind of like it. I mean, I don't just kind of like it. I honestly love it. I think it's well done. So Phoenix, thank you so much for sending these in. I really appreciate it. I am going to be doing lots of moving around here in this office in the next week. I don't know how many videos are going to be in this next coming week. I am going to try and do lots in the next coming days, but at the very worst case scenario, you're going to see me next Friday. But I am hoping to film a couple for next week, but I don't want to guarantee that. I think I said last week that there were going to be a couple, and that didn't end up happening. So I do apologize for that. But I hope you're having a good start to your weekend, and I hope you are loving the jersey concepts. I'm loving the designers in the community. They've been doing some wonderful work recently. So round of applause down below in the comment section for everyone in the community. All those designers are doing great stuff. And if have a couple minutes, leave your comments on what was your favorite from this video. I'd be very curious. I'm sure Phoenix is curious as well. And feel free to leave some constructive feedback. And if you want to get into designing, I would absolutely love that, to look at your work. Details on how to do that are down below in the description. But if you need a template, the template that you saw in this video it's actually free. I think it's the Puck Design one. If you just search Puck Design's free hockey template, you'll probably find it on Google. You can use that along with some free software to design yourself. It's not going to cost you anything. I always like to say that because I think that's important. Designing jerseys, or anything really, Photoshop like that, it's an expensive endeavor. It really is. So it's okay to start out with a couple of the basic ones, some free programs like Photopia, some free templates. It doesn't have to be hockey jerseys. It could be anything. I understand the financial barrier. I definitely do. I've been there as a young designer many decades ago. It's difficult. However, if you want to get into it on a very serious level, maybe you've been designing jerseys for a while and you want your stuff to have the best possible look and the best template, go to sportstemplates.net. They have the highest quality templates in the industry, 3D, excellent lighting. I think some of them are 8K. And of course, yeah, they cost money, but I can help you save 10% on any template on the site. Just use my code post-to-post. And this is not hockey specific. You can do any sport. They've got templates for basically every single sport: football, soccer, baseball, basketball, all that good stuff. They even have video templates as well now, where you can get like things twirling, and it's pretty remarkable, honestly, the amount of templates they're producing over there. So make sure you go check them out. They also have free ones too, so make sure you grab some of those, and make sure you use my code post-to-post if you're going to buy something. Save yourself some money. So have a wonderful start to your weekend. Hope to talk to you guys very soon, and possibly by the next time you see me, my entire background will be a little bit different. And I think at that point, I think I'd like to do like a bit of a room tour. If you guys are interested in that, you can let me know. I'm going to take a picture of what things look like before I kind of remove everything else, so I can show you before and after. So if you're interested in that, let me know. It's all right. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.